Okay, tonight's video to help you review for your retake test on Thursday is going to focus on our factors and multiples, and they are different. Factors is one thing when it comes to numbers, multiples is another thing when it comes to numbers. So that's going to be the focus of tonight's video, okay? All right, so when we think of factors, what we're thinking of are the numbers that we multiply to equal a number, okay? Okay, so the numbers we multiply, that would be like 2 times 3 equals 6. So 3 and 2 are factors of 6, okay? Multiples is when you're skip counting by a certain number, okay? They are all the numbers that would be in a certain number's family, okay? For example, if I'm skip counting by 4s, my multiples would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and it keeps on going. And I would keep adding 4 each time since I'm working with multiples of that number. Okay, and if you look on a multiplication chart, all of the numbers that we have listed here, that I have listed, would be in the 4s family. Okay? So that's the difference there. Look here, you're multiplying, factors are when you are multiplying the numbers together to get a certain number. The multiples is when you are skip counting by a certain number and you're coming up with all the numbers that are in that family. Okay? Okay, so if we're looking at our sheet here, this is the review packet, and this was the first page. I'm just going to do a few of these to help you out, and then the other page was the multiples. Okay. So if I'm going to find the factors of a number, let's say we're going to do 42, okay? I'm going to list all the numbers that I could multiply to get 42. Now it does say that we are going to list them, which means that we are going to be putting the commas in between the numbers, and we're going to list them from the least to the greatest, okay? But to help me come up with that is go ahead and find the numbers that would multiply to equal 42. We'll start with an obvious one. 1 times 42 itself will give you 42, okay? So 1 and 42 are factors. Is 2 going to be a factor? Well, 42 is an even number, so yes, it is. But times what? Okay, well, let's see. Half of the ones place, which is a 2, would be 1. Half of the tens place, the 40, would be 20, so 21. 2 times 21 would be 42. Okay, with 3 work for 42. Now it does end up working, but what does it work for? We'll start here with the 2. Okay, well 2 doesn't work. Take 1 from here would be like 30 and 12. Does 12 work? Yeah. That would be 4. 30 would be 10. So it's 14. Okay, I know that was probably really confusing. You're like, what? How did Mrs. Garrett get that? Yeah, I know. I know that 3 times 10 is 30. I know that 3 times 4 is 12. If I do 30 plus 12 together, it'll equal 42. So that's all I did is I just kind of broke up 42 and to help me out, okay? Okay, so we keep on going. 4 will not work. Yes, 2 works, but 4 will not work. Think of it this way, like, what's half of 21? Well, it's not an even number, so there is no half of 21 exactly. It's not a whole number. So 4 will not work. 5 will not work because it always needs to end in a 5 or a 0. 6 will work, and it's 6 times 7 equals 42. Okay, well, that's going to tell me that it's it because the next number would be 7, and that is already taken. Okay, so now I'm going to list these 8 numbers in order from least to greatest. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 6, 7, 14, 21, and 42. Okay? Okay, so those are all the factors there of that. Let's do 48. Okay? Okay, so same thing. I'm going to be listing them from least to greatest using my commas. but I'm going to go ahead and think in my head, what could I multiply to equal 48? Start with the obvious one. 1 times itself, 48 equals 48, okay? Is it an even number? Yes, it is. So 2 will work, okay? Half of the 8 and the 1s would be 4. Half of the 4 and the 10s, which is 40, would be 20. So 24. 2 times 24 is 48. Will 3 work? Now 3 does work since 42 worked. Okay. If I add 3 to 42, I'd get 45. If I add 3 again, I'd get 48. So that is 3 times 16 is 48. Will 4 work? Well, 2 times 24 equaled 48. 24 is an even number, so 4 will work. 4 times 12, it's half of that 24, will be 48. Will 5 work? Nope. 5 will not work. It doesn't end in a 5 or a 0. Will 6 work? Yes. 6 times 8 equals 48. Okay, and that's going to be it because 7 won't work. Okay, so now we list them from least to the greatest. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 6, and then 8, and then 12, 16, 24, and 48. And you can do that little like rainbow thing that we did, like the connect them. You should have a number to connect with every single one to know that there's a match. Okay? Okay. So there's the factors, and we are listing them, but you can use your multiplication to help you get there. Okay. The multiples is on the back. Remember, multiples is when you are skip counting by a certain number. So let's do 6 right here. It says to circle the numbers which are multiples of 6. So I could sit here and I could list them off. 6, add 6 would be 12, add 6 would be 18, add 6 would be 24, add 6 would be 30, add 6, 36, add 6, 42, add 6, 48. So I'm going to stop when I get to 60, which is the 10th multiple. So add 6 would be 54, add 6 would be 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And now I'm going to circle the ones that are multiples of 6. And voila, there you go. The rest are not multiples of 6. Okay? Okay, so there's your help for tonight. Your video for tonight on factors and multiples. Come to school tomorrow if you have questions and ask them, okay? Ask them if you need some extra help.